start now. So this is going to be like the first session after Lunar New Year. Since most of us here celebrate Lunar New Year, I'll just say Happy Lunar New Year. It's the year of the tiger, happens to be my year. So basically you know my age now. If you tell me I'm 24, then I'll take gun and shoot you. Okay, so first things first, I want to recognize Vincent's new background. Like it looks very nice. Like I was like wow when I saw it. Okay, so I like to recognize
It
this.
really looks good, yeah.
It looks
It looks
fantastic.
nice.
Yeah.
Mm.
If I were to suggest a change, it's maybe it's your clothes and the background here. So there's a bit of a disconnect here. Or I'm not sure if it's a lighting. We have to test those things. But this is a very very big improvement. Oh Ricky, that background is uh not very appropriate. I would rather use your office. That is actually your office is actually okay, Ricky. Uh, yeah, yeah, your office is okay. To be honest, maybe put more books.
Yeah.
The books you want to put it like just give you just a tip here. The books you want to put it this way so people can see your books instead of this.
The problem is I don't want to buy so many books that I don't read, so I am starting to read all these books.
Yeah, actually, if you put it this way, you don't need so many books.
Oh, it's like a
Yes.
Desmond kind of
Yeah.
style.
Yeah, that's the Desmond style. So if you do the Desmond style, it's a lot easier. You buy actually you buy a few books. Like my style is you buy more. But my boxes are small, so for me, I don't mind buying a few more.
Yeah, you buy the books that will appeal to the people who we are speaking with. I would definitely put some marketing book, some psychology book. That is like everybody can benefit. Doesn't matter if you're doing graphic design. Doesn't matter if you're doing copywriting or you're a coach. Human psychology is one. Positive mental attitude. Um, there's one book from Chris Voss that I think everybody can benefit from. Never split the difference. Yeah, there are a few. All right. So this week we're going to feature Anastasia. She actually gave me a question earlier. So I'll read the question. And if you want to change the question, you can also make the changes. All right. So my question is how to convince the prospect that our copy will generate more sales for them. Is that accurate? Okay, so how many here actually have this problem? I'm not sure if my work will generate more profits for other people. Because if you want to charge, I mean, even if you don't think about this problem, maybe you're not charging high enough. But if you charge high enough, let's say you're going to charge 100,000 for an email. Like I'm exaggerating. Okay, but you get the point. This is a conversations everybody will have. If you don't have it, there might be an indication you are undercharging. All right. So how can we overcome this? Gerald, let's hear from you. How to convince prospect
Okay.
our copy, our work.
Look,
That doesn't have to be copyrighted. It can be logo. It can be our work. It can be our coaching, our consultation. How can we assure them before they pay us money, before we do the work, that it's going to be a positive value?
now that's an interesting question. Actually, I was waiting for Anastasia to kind of give us some bit of background to see like in what kind of incidences those kind of objections have been thrown. So it would kind of give us a better context. Maybe
Actually,
let's
Anastasia,
start
you
from
can you can unmute and give us some context. Like, what is the situation you
yeah.
face? When did this objection occur?
Usually because usually in Upwork you got your our charge, right? It's only and then I like compete with the others, so it's like $20, 25 for the copy. But then there, of course, it's not like one letter is going to be like 25. So I mean, building the sales letters will be like quite a lot of times. So, but the thing is, suddenly they're like doubting how what is the conversions, you know, like usually if the question is like before, they're gonna ask in the proposal. It's like how are you going to be sure about that this is going to be make sales for us, or like, or how many like generated sales for us, something like that. The questions, they're not asking us well in the interview. Sometimes they have, but most of them they're asking in the chat, like one of the terms of conditions, you know, like how do you know that your writer is going to
Okay.
make sales for
So
the company?
sometimes it is before the
Before
closing the call. Sometimes it's during. Okay.
yeah
Okay, good.
Okay.
Okay, so very, very important. So as a principle, when people give you objections, let's begin from the bigger perspective. When people give you objections, many times it means they're seriously considering your stuff. You have to go buy your copy and your landing page in the context of copywriting. This means that they are considering to buy, but they kind of need some proof in their mind. They need some proof. So this is one of the key things for copywriters and for every independent professional. We say you need to have a portfolio, and you need, that's one. So you need portfolio to document your past works, okay? Because 30%, about 30% of the 25 to 30% of the population has the pearl gemstone, which means they are run by the fact that they want to see experience. They want to see that something has worked for some people in the past before they commit. And because that's like 30% is like 3 out of every 10, right? Or 1 out of every 3. So that's a high percentage. So as an independent professional, your portfolio is key. 2, you need to keep good records of all your outcomes. So if such a suggestion, if such an objection is going to come, it's always important to have something as proof. That's why on our landing page, that's why in all the marketing materials, you actually put things like FAQ, okay? FAQs are things that help you to handle objections of workability, like how are the conversions, what are the good things that will come out of this. So in principle, objections are good, okay? They are good. It tells you that they're seriously considering, because if somebody doesn't bring objections, it means they're not taking you seriously, okay? So that's number 1. Number 2, you have to be prepared to handle objections even before they come. So knowing that as an independent practitioner, they're going to be objecting to you, there will always be lower self of these customers or these gentlemen and ladies we are going to serve. So be prepared, come ready with your document, come ready with also the mindset of assuring them that you work. Okay, so the third thing, which is the invisible thing for the independent professionals, is that how do you conduct yourself during the interview, during the chat? You look desperate, or do you exude confidence? Because if you're very confident, and for example, they say, okay, no, Anastasia, we think you could do 3 emails for us, maybe 1 landing page for this, and then you are looking uncomfortable, you know, the way you're conducting yourself, then you will trigger objections in their mind. They'll say, but I'm not sure if this is going to work, okay? So these are very important points. So this is something you need to consider. So your conduct can trigger objections. So you have to conduct yourself in a very strong professional, have a very strong frame, number 1, to have your documents ready as past evidence that what you've done has worked in the past, and so there's no reason why it shouldn't work. And then finally, you need to be able to really show up in a very, very professional way. So those would be the quick 3 things. And maybe Jay, you want to build on that and give another context so we're able to handle this.
Yes. So actually, I can see Gerald is coming from a closer coach point of view, where he talk about sometimes what we do inspires negative confidence, or what somehow we conduct ourselves um, doesn't give people the confidence. Actually, I regret showing this because now I think everybody is reading here. But this is what I was writing just now while Gerald was answering. So I fully agree with that, because that's actually the most powerful answer. And how do you know you're doing a good job is you don't get that question like how do I know this is going to be profitable, how do I know this is going to work for me. To be honest, it's a long time since I got this question. I used to get this question a lot, I'll say even like last year. So last year I still get these questions. I think the first half of 2021 I still get a lot of questions. Oh, how do I know the cost per click will be lower, or how do I know the conversion rate will be higher? But I haven't get this question for I think half a year or 9 months now, right? So it's almost like, hey, I remember back then there was a time where I get this a lot. Okay, so what has changed for me? I'll just say from my side, it's um, the biggest change was I almost don't want to take on new deals. So this is the what Gerald will say is the inner game. Okay, your own inner self. When you have the mindset of like, I almost don't want this deal. Like I'm already busy enough. I don't really need to say yes to this. People can feel it without you saying. Here's the trick. You actually can't say this. You can't tell the prospect, actually, I'm not sure if I want to take you on, stuff like that. Because if you don't do it perfectly, sometimes it sounds like you're very arrogant and it can piss people off, right? So this answer, you might need to listen to it twice or 3 times, or maybe revisit this. It's how can you let other people know that you don't need the deal without saying you don't need the deal? How do you conduct? Okay, a few things that you guys are already doing. Good background, look the part, look like a person who really don't need a deal. Like you don't know how many people, when I meet them the first time, when they see how I appear on camera, they're like, damn, who are you? Like you look like you are some, like, are you a YouTuber? Are you a live streamer? Why do you look like this way? Your like you look a bit different. That's all they tell me. And sometimes they just wear like t-shirts. Like business owners, they just wear t-shirts and they appear, and I look like this. They were like, okay, oops, I'm sorry. Like, oh, it's a holiday season, so I appear in t-shirts. So they'll say things like that. So, the biggest thing that you can shift for yourself is how you approach your deal. Why? Because people like to buy. People like to do business with people who donate money. People like to buy from sellers who donate money. All right. So that's the inner game part. That being said, I prepared some notes here. So basically, this is what they are saying. How do I know this is a good investment for me? Okay. These are some of the things that they are maybe thinking. Maybe they don't say it out. How do I know? Now you have to know if they tried something similar in the past. That's very important, because if they tried something in the past and it didn't work, you need to let them know why this time is different. What are you doing differently from the previous? What is it different? Is it a different channel? Is it like previously the person who did the work lacked a step in the process? So you need to be able to explain that. Now you have to know, not your customers. Your customers might not have this level of clarity. So it is our job as the freelancer, as the closer, to know what exactly are they saying when they have the concern that, I'm not sure if this is going to be profitable. So this is all closing. It has nothing to do with the work, but it has to do with everything about, how you close. Okay, I don't know what makes you special. Now I will your prospect probably won't think about this, but I want them to think about this, and I'll actually show you some behind the scenes. So I'm not sure if this is helpful for you guys, but I'll just like maybe consider showing you guys how I position myself different. So when I do stuff like this, I don't get the question like, "Hey, how do I know your work is going to work?" Because frankly, I haven't got that for a long time. Who wants to see some behind the scenes? Put up your hand. Like, no need to get this question anymore. All right, I see hands going up. Now, I'll share with you some of the work that I did and I keep reusing, and I'll share something that I actually just did this afternoon. Okay. So I don't know if this will work for me. Now, if they are thinking about this, it's not so much about you, it's more about them. So the lower self, the not confident self, there's two parties. One, it is us, the closer, the freelancer. The other is the prospect. Sometimes it is not us that inspires low confidence. Sometimes they themselves are not sure about themselves. Okay. If this is the situation, will be a bit harder. There will be a bit more work. Okay. It requires more skill as a closer. It requires more certainty from yourself. Okay. Uh, it's not like there's nothing we can do. There are things we can do, but this will be, I'll say, slightly more advanced. So let's just work on ourselves first before we talk about this. Okay, another one. This, all of them, they'll be thinking about this, but none of them are going to tell you. So if they say, how do I know this email or this landing page or this ad or this logo is going to make me more money? Okay, when they say that, basically they're saying, you haven't convinced me enough. Okay, so this is how I do, and I will encourage you to look at this process. Okay, look at this as a process. It's not like you do this, you get the same result. But just look at my, take some ideas, take some inspiration from my process. So before anybody meets me to discuss, usually I'll send them some PowerPoint slides, and usually it will be me looking through their work, and this is a very generic version. This is a very generic version. Usually before I jump on a Zoom call, I'll already have this Facebook ad one. Okay, then they have, let's say they have Instagram, and let's say they have Google. So usually before I even speak with the person on Zoom, I already have all of this. I show them I did my homework. I show them I actually understand your business because I went to your website. I sign up for your stuff. I enter my name. I've been through the process. So I can tell you like, hey, this part is weak or this part is weak. And when I show them, they're like, hey, this guy probably understands my business better than me. And if you can, I can tell you, like, I met so many people before. They always tell me the same thing. Nobody showed me this stuff before. It's like nobody seems to understand the big picture, because the business owner themselves, most of the time, they don't even know it. To be very frank with you, most of them, they are also clueless. So when you have more clarity than them, it's very easy for them to say yes. Okay, so here are some other stuff. I mean, if you want, you can go and, if you want, I can pass you the file. Just don't just change my logo. These are the things that people want. Now you have to show them that. Now why I show this is because I'm in digital marketing. I do copywriting. I do consulting. I do ads. So I will show them, now you are not here to sell your product. Our goal as a business owner is to satisfy the audience emotional desires. So these are all the things, and I can even prove to them if they don't believe. Like, why do you jump on this call with me? It's not really about your ads. You're not asking me about Facebook ads. You're not asking me about your emails. Actually, there'll be some of this. You want more money? You want the pride of accomplishment? You want better self-confidence? You want your business to be better? It's usually some of this. So I can show them that. If let's say they approach me for Facebook ads, okay? If let's say they approach me for Facebook ads, now you can just pick one or two. You don't need to do as many as me, to be honest. I've been doing this for 2 years, all right? All of this is my work. Keep refining over 2 years. You can just start with just one slide. Just show them that you've done your work and you are different from others. Okay, so if it's a Facebook, I'll show them Facebook ads, it requires a few things to be right. Then sometimes I'll even, like, usually the sessions I have with them is a paid review. I'll show them how to look at their work. And I said, no, I'm not going to teach you, I'm not going to review your work, but I'm going to teach you how to review your work. So next time you don't even need to call me. And they were like, okay, that would be nice. So usually I just cover like part 1, maybe part 2. Usually I don't even talk about this. It's already 45 minutes or half an hour or 45 minutes. So when I can show them things that they never seen before, I'll ask them this question to make sure they get it. Now, can you see why, when you know how to do all of this, your results are better? And I always get the answer, yes. Now, can you see why, if you have these things missing, your emails is not so good or your ads are not so good? So actually, I already answered this. Yeah.
Yeah, Jay, let me jump right in.
Yes.
There is something for independent professionals. There's what we call power of preparation. So what Jay is actually telling you is that before you jump on a closing influencer, potential influencer, the person, the business owner, you need to know what you're going to be talking about. So doing the groundwork will actually handle the objections before they come, because you show up as a professional person, you show up as prepared, because success shows up when you're prepared. Success does just show up like that. So the business owner, and by the way, not all of them are very smart, as you guys already know, right? Yeah. So it's very, very important that you need to lend yourself. While you're independent, it means you trust yourself. You have a capacity to trade. You're trading your skill. You're trading your knowledge. So come to the calls when you're really knowledgeable, because actually it's almost an insult to yourself and to them if you come and then they're teaching you, right? Quote unquote, you really don't know. So if you show up like how Jay showed up, do you think there will be any doubt, Anastasia? Do you think they will doubt you?
No, I don't think so. But sometimes we are,
Exactly.
it's like you said that we are doubting ourselves because, like, for example, I've never done the Facebook ads, like, so I don't know the sequence of the Facebook ads, except for the email
Yes.
method.
Let's say if it's something that it's a first time. Now this is where we are very, very selective. Like currently, the people that I talk with, I don't even talk about Facebook ads because I haven't done it for a long time. I just focus on what I specialize. So if I remember correctly, you specialize more on emails, real estate, some niche, correct? Yeah. So just pick a few things that you really, really feel like this is something that you are interested in, and just specialize there. You will be able to create the slides by yourself.
Okay, and yeah, just hold on. I think Anastasia has brought something very, very important, and that alluded to what you had brought in, Jay. You see, as independent professionals, who would go to a doctor? You have a skin problem, right? But then you go to a bone doctor. Does that make sense? You have a skin problem, but you're going for a doctor who is doing bone surgery. Now, what Jay is actually saying, as an independent professional, as a freelancer, choose the niches in which you have expertise. If a business owner is going to talk about, if you're good with landing page and somebody is wanting to talk about, let's say, Facebook marketing, show up for the call, but not necessarily as an expert. Show that I want to listen what you're going to see, and let me see if within my skill repertoire or within my connections, I can help you. So that takes away the pressure from you. You don't really need to handle all those, and the objections won't come. So again, that says you have to go to places where you're comfortable first. You don't want to start learning in front of the business owner. You would be panicking. So start with what you're good at and be good with that. And then as time goes on, you begin to increase your skill levels in the other things until where you have reasonable comfort. And that's when you begin to pitch people into this. So basically, don't rush to provide service you're not good at. It will show, right? Because you want to give the value for the business owner. and you'll panic. So I wouldn't definitely request you to do that. So start where you're good. And then in that case, you can speak to the business owner and say, oh, okay, I know this is what I'm very comfortable with. This is where I can add value. However, I know Tom, I know Max, who is good with this. I could come on the call with Tom. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that because we operate in a world of abundance as independent professionals. So if you are not good with landing page, you're good with email marketing, you just say, hey, I will come with my colleague who is good in email marketing. And so during the discussion, it's no longer a closing call, but like a discussion call. And one thing could lead to another. So you and your friend can end up doing both deals, right? So some of the things that would give you lack of confidence in front of the camera, you can handle it behind the scenes. So that's like a strategy way that you could deal with that. So they jump on that. I didn't want that point to go away. So jump on
Okay.
and move on.
Yeah. So let's just take this as an example, and this is the recommendation I usually give. Like there's so in this digital marketing, in copywriting or freelancing, there's so many different vehicles, so many different platforms. It's impossible to know all of it, right? So if you are just starting, like this is maybe your first year or first 6 months, maybe you want to try many different things and find what is very, what really you're very interested in. Okay, but if this is not your first year, you probably already know like what you like to do, what you're good at. So for me at the moment, it's Google Ads. Okay, so I'm able to discuss in depth for this. So usually when I approach people or whenever I bid for projects or whenever I introduce myself, I just, even though I know, like frankly, my Facebook ads, I'm not too bad with it. I can probably do it, but I don't even talk about it. Now, why do I do that? Here is why. If I'm so good at this, when I tell people, yeah, actually, I also do Facebook ads, in their mind, they think I am this. Or they also ask me, do you do squeeze pages? Yeah, actually, it's also part of it. We can do that as well. They will think this. This is what happens in their mind. So how do I do the work myself? Frankly, I don't. I get other people who are good at squeeze pages to do the squeeze pages. That is me. Because my time is better spent on other things. So I'll focus on what I'm very, very good at, but I'll go and network with others. I'll go and, hey, this is what I'm good at. Tell me more about yourself, which is why we have these networking sessions, which is why we join masterminds, which is why we join all of the paid programs. We network with each other. So I know people who are very good with emails. I know people who are very good with sales pages. So when I approach my prospect now, instead of I'm bringing this, oh, if you're not doing Google Ads, I can't close you. No, no, no. When I speak with them now, when I have this context, I'm actually selling this. So there's one quote which I think is very nice. It's from Christo. It's not my quote. So I'll just give him credit. He said most of the time freelancers they sell what they just sell what they can do. But he as a business person, he as an entrepreneur, he sell what the world can do because he have a lot of contacts. So we want to shift our point of view a little. Like, I understand why you would think that way because I've been operating that way. I've been like, hey, if you're not here to buy Google Ads, I don't want to talk with you. Back then, that was my mindset, but now I changed a little. And I realized when I operate this way, actually, it's also good because I don't need to be very good at many things. I just be good at one thing, but I network around. Actually, I can provide very different services because every business, what they need is actually will be a bit different. Sometimes they don't need what I'm good at, but I can always refer to other people, right? So this is what I recommend. You know a bit of everything, but once you find something that you are happy with, try to be as good as as possible. This is my recommendation. Actually, there's one thing here. I forgot what I wanted to show. All right, now you will notice all of this is a bit like design, and there's some colors, there's some pictures. It's a bit, well, I didn't do this in one day, right? That being said, you don't have to. Somehow today I was actually doing one project. So let me just show you something that is in the progress. I just show you the, I'll share with you the something like behind the scenes, right? So currently, like yesterday, we accidentally closed a deal. Create Google Ads, create a landing page for $1,500. Accidentally closed because actually I'm not very keen on that project. It's a bit low paying. General knows it. It's a bit low paying. I'm like, it's just 1,500. I'm not very I'm not very motivated. But let's just treat it as a helping people. Okay. So now how do I let the business owner know that this landing page is going to be good? Especially when the business owner is not from copywriter or not from digital marketing background. I show, okay, this is how we plan to do the whole thing. Here are all the phases. Here's all the work that is done. What needs to be done? Why we need to do this? Okay, most freelancers, we didn't explain why we need to do this. If the business owner, if the customer don't know why you're doing something, they don't know the value. We cannot assume they know. They won't. It's our job to let them know. Now, why are we doing the research? Like a lot of copywriters, you try to close deal, you tell them, oh, I need to do research first. Business owner, they don't know why the research is important. You will know. Of course, you're a copywriter, you're a marketer, you will know. But the business owner will think, I have a product, I just show people, they will buy. We know it's not that way, but in their mind, they don't know. So we have to show them now, why are we doing audience research? Because we want to know this. Why are we doing objections research? So that we can do this. So when I show all of this, they're like, damn, this person really thought it through. No wonder previously when I hired somebody to do my ads, that it didn't work. Because they did not do all of this. This is what happens in their mind. Maybe the person did it. Maybe the person did that. But if they didn't communicate the work that is being done, in the prospect's mind, in the business owner's mind, that was not done. So frankly, if to be honest, my work is not that special. But I make it a point to communicate very, very well with the business owner. So I get less of the questions. Okay, so you can see it's not very pretty, correct? But I just did this afternoon. The next time when I do this, you bet it's going to be designed. So you don't need to have on day one everything that looks like this. No, you're not going to have this. Okay, but just this alone is good enough. Then the second time just be a bit better. The third time be a bit better. All right, so it's a process.
All right. So, yeah, I think Jay has mentioned some very, very nice points. You working together, and like as we mentioned in our previous sessions, that you need to collaborate because success happens if you're working together. Like I mentioned, Anastasia should have a network of people who can complement her skills that are not good, right? So that way, like if you have a network of 3-4 people, if you're good with landing page, and the opportunity shows up in email marketing, then you can hand it over to the other person and come in the meeting together. And so let's work from a win-win perspective. And again, I want to emphasize in today's session, the power of preparation, right? And the power of showing us professional. So if you have this one slide of what I'm going to do, that I will do step 1, step 2, step 3, the objection Anastasia you were mentioning, because this business owner's mind, you have clarified, because why do we bring objections when we're not sure, right? So make it sure, show them the roadmap that I'm going to do this, and this is why I'm doing this, I'm going to do this, this is why I'm doing this. So then they'll say, oh, I think you could also do email marketing for us, right? You could even do this, you could do this, right? So by showing up as you know, as a person who knows, you are even creating more deals for yourself. So that is one point. As an independent practitioner, you need to put in practice. So have a network, because your net worth is equal to your network. Okay, so number one. Two, the power of preparation is what makes you lucky. There's nothing like luck in this world. There's no luck. It's opportunity meeting preparedness, right? So if somebody is always lucky and opportunity falls by, that means they're always ready. And when opportunity comes, they take it and they go for it, right? So this is very, very important. Your portfolio, your preparation, your networking skills, and really doing the job and learning from the job every time. Like Jay just mentioned, the first time it can be not so good. Second time, there should be improvement. The third time, there should be improvement. Kaizen, the principle of Kaizen, continuous learning and improvement. So that way you grow and you become much, much better.
And the good news
Yes.
is with Google, you don't even need to come up with all the stuff I show you just now. You can just take other people's. They have 5 steps. You add 1 step, 6 steps. Now it is your formula. There's 5 steps. You take away one. Now it is your formula. Now, to be fair to me, I actually did come up with most of the stuff myself. All right, but you don't have to. You don't have to. If you want my slides, I'm happily to give you. Okay, I'm not sure. I'm just not sure if you're doing the same thing. Okay, but I'm happy to give like the
Yeah.
audience emotional ones that you guys can actually use that. Just
Yes.
change the color and change the logo.
Yes. Yes, I think it would be nice if you shared the emotions, because those are a bit hard to think through as a beginning entrepreneur, independent entrepreneur. So you can when you're questioning the business owner, you want a landing page, you want this kind of emails. What's in your mind? What are you looking for? Right? So when you ask questions like that, then you can begin to understand what is the back of their mind. Because many times they'll say, I want landing page, I want this. And landing page is really not the need. It may be email marketing they need, or vice versa. So that's why you need to understand what they're really looking for. And then how do you find that? You question them. And then when you have a list of emotions people usually buy, that makes you look smart. You then appear like this guy knows what he's talking about, and he's talking about. So yeah.
Actually, it happens. I think in the two sessions, in the sessions before, when I was asking as well why I was ghosting at that time, because when I saw his landing page and I said that it takes a lot of work. It means like he needs someone to do the landing page. He needs someone to do the Facebook ads because he doesn't have any leads, because he doesn't have any list as well for emails, because he asked me for emails, but the thing is that he doesn't have the list of emails. And he just told me like, well, I can have quite a lot of lists for email to be sent. But I said, where'd you get this list? Because you cannot have just that. You cannot just have the list from somewhere else. And all of them are not active. They're all like scams, and it's going to damage your own server. I was like that. Told him, and then I told him like, you need to have the Facebook ad first, or the one in Instagram that goes to your landing page. Then from the landing page, and you can have the emails from me. I was like that. But if you haven't got the first steps, how can you get the email? You know what I mean? So the thing that I was asking why I need the J sequence, because I myself, I can explain that, but if you ask me to do that, I just like, oh my god, what is this?
Okay.
Like I know what it is. Where the email come from, but the thing is like it has to be like from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm in the 6 maybe.
Okay. So before we dive into the question itself, here's a general tip. And guys, I just learned this in the past few months, maybe 3 months. This is new to me as well. Now, when we give information to others, particularly before we establish that we are the expert, before they say we are the expert. Okay, because when we say we are the expert, sometimes they might not fully believe. But if they say it, then it's a bit different. Now, on calls like this, on communication channels like this, me and Gerald, we can just give the advice. Why? Because there is a bit trust. There's a authority. I'll say. Okay. You guys know that we have did we have did and we have achieved some results. Now, if the prospect don't know all of this, they don't know you long enough. Sometimes we have to withhold. I know this is very hard, especially for emeralds, especially for those we've been through a lot of training. We want to give them the answer, but this is a counterintuitive. If we give them the answer, the answer can be 100% correct, but the way they receive it, it might not feel like an answer. Okay, I wish we have more time to explore this. But maybe Gerald can highlight this better than me.
Okay, I think we've had some veiled talk. What Jay is talking about is that when you're on these calls with these people, you ask more questions, right? You ask more questions to discover what they are truly looking for. And then you can say, okay, so have you thought about this? Okay, why do you think this is important? How do you think this will help you improve your business? Things like that. So let it come, extract the information from them, and then kind of give it back to them. So don't be on the call like to lecture them. Hear them and get back to them and let it be more of a conversation. So you understand, you could say, okay, I'm thinking of this option. What do you think about this? Okay, and the reason why I'm thinking this would be like that. So don't like overload them with information. One thing, many times the business owners, like Anastasia, your case, he simply just wanted to buy an email list, not knowing that I was going to damage his business. But you came in to help him, but do it in such a way that he doesn't feel insulted. It's like you're working together, you're supporting the ambition, you're supporting the mission. So I think the principle, what Jay just wanted me to let you guys know is, in our world of independent practice, go up and let the influencer, your business owner, know that you want to help them, you are there to support them, and find out what they want what they want, and then ask why. What are the different things? Like you explore around their questions so that you help them see, because it is, if they say something themselves, then they mean it. If you tell them something, you probably may be wasting your time. They won't do it, right? So don't talk at them, talk with them, right? So very important.
Yeah, so I'll just add a little on that. The reason why Gerald say the business owner will feel insulted, it's because when I hear, I mean, this is the second time I'm hearing the role play from Anastasia, all right? Both times I also felt a bit, damn, why are you talking to me like that? I was imagining myself as the business owner, and I had that feeling. I like, damn, why are you talking to me like that? So once we have that, once we trigger that kind of negative feeling, things tend to go downhill. I wish we can explore this. I mean, to really do this, we'd have to do a role play. I will be Anastasia, and Anastasia, you'll be the business owner. Then you will know like why we say this. It's like the way the message is delivered, and this is very very funny because for us, like, we are introverts. We do a lot. We give our opinions. We give the feedback based on facts, but not everybody is like us. So some people, they take things differently. So we need to change the way we deliver the message based on not based on us, how we want to hear it, based on how they want to hear it. And actually, this is the perfect transition. Actually, I wish I told Gerald before this, but this month we are supposed to discuss creating a program where we have more time to explore with you guys. So instead of 1 hour a week, we have extra sessions, and sessions at this, it will have more time for us to further like dive deep in a topic. Okay, for example, usually it will be role play. Now, why role play is because I believe that's the thing that will move the needle the most for all freelancers, because most freelancers have no problem doing the work. You might think you have a problem with doing the work. I don't think so. I seen most of you have shown me your work before. I think it's okay. But the prospecting, the closing, the handling objections, oh, that is what is holding most of you back. Yes, and you might not agree with me at that stage. I didn't think this way 1 year ago, 2 years ago, but today I fully see that. Now, did my work, the skills in my work, did it improve? Yes, but not as much as the way I close. So I seriously believe the closing, prospecting, handling objections, stuff like this is what most of the freelancers need. Okay, but also we would like to have a way for all of you to separate yourself. Now, because the world, there are so many freelancers, there are so many business, so many logo designers, so many email writers, so many people who do ads, so many who do landing page. Would you agree? There's a lot who do this. Now, how can we distinguish ourselves? Now, how can we make ourselves stand out before we do the work? So that is something that I'll say I spend a bit time on compared to others. Most of the time, I see others, the freelancers, they spend time learning how to do the work better. They spend very little time on how do I let others know I can do the work better before we actually meet. So if all of us we can do that, and I plan to help you guys to do that, you'll find you'll be talking to better prospects, you'll be closing easier. Okay, even though you are doing
And
the same
then
work.
3, yeah, and then you'll be able to retain clients, because another thing we do is client retention. So you don't have to be jumping around looking for new clients. So stability of your income, stability of your relationships. Yeah. Go on.
So we plan to launch this program in February. We are still in the discussion state on, what is the program going to be. It's probably going to be like a weekly program. Okay, this is not final, so this is like an early teaser. A weekly program where you guys will have access directly to me and Gerald. Okay, it's almost like you're hiring us to be your coach and consultant, to get you to basically, we are transferring our skills. We are allowing you to see the world through our lens, through our eyes. Okay, without going through all the training and struggles that we go through, because that is certainly no fun, I can tell you that. Right, we'll be announcing more of that later. Just a little sneak preview on that. But I want to make sure that the question, Anastasia, so from today, do you have a better understanding on why you get the objection in the first place? And now do you have a okay? And now now if the same thing happens, would you be able to deal with the situation, handle the situation better?
Haven't tried one, but maybe I will.
All right. Okay. So we are here to actually make progress every week. And yes. Okay. Now I'll just open the for any questions. It can be related to today's discussion topic, or it can be different. Or maybe you close the deal you want to share with us. We'd like to hear from. Yeah. Ricky, yes.
I'd like to share. I have been. I think I talk about. I have been talking to so many HR or headhunters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And number like a super number, a lot of hours of role play after. I don't know. I didn't count anymore, but and then I realized one thing. It is I talk to those HR, and then most of them want to hire me now, but I don't want a job.
What
I want
changed?
the
What
it's
changed?
the confidence.
So
it's the confident.
it
I
is.
think it's the confident.
It is your inner game change. I mean, we use HTC terms. It's your inner game change. That's all.
Yeah, because of the practice, right? Like to me as an emerald, it's like the practice, right? Like, and I don't even need to practice interview question, and then I ace the interview.
Yeah.
But now I get the problem. I don't want
That's
to
a good
attract
problem.
people. I don't want to attract people who just want to hire a job person. I want to
Okay.
attract people who just who want to hire my service as a consultant. Like you guys, right?
Okay.
You go to ask a copywriter job, right? Like you want to be a freelancer, right? But they ask you,
Mhm.
hey, like imagine you're me, right? Like you're a freelancer, but you go to all the people influencer, and then they give you a job, and then you have to try. I feel like now I'm like that. I'm attracting those people who just want to give me a job. So, what to
Okay.
do with this?
I have some ideas. It's probably sometimes it is the people you're talking with. Now you have to know HR managers. What do they only know? They only know how to hire. So for a person who have been using the hammer all their life, any problem they're going to say hammer it. It's a screw, hammer it. It you need to use glue, no, hammer it. They will just keep saying the same thing. So part of it, I think a big part of it, it's not you, it's them. Okay, now that being said, how can you introduce yourself in a way that they won't ask you, do you want a job? You almost want them to have this conversation in their mind. Ricky's not going to want a job here. Don't be ridiculous. You know how much he's making out there per hour? Once they have this conversation, probably they won't want to insult you with offering
He
you a job.
he was actually mentioning like 100,000 per year. This sounds like it's a it is what you're looking for, but I'm going to tell you, and then this is what his mind is going for. But he's still like, oh, but I don't know if it is my intergame, right? My intergame attract the people who just want to hire a job person. I don't know why.
Okay, now let me jump in real Ricky, I think you have a good problem. What you need to do is now transition. You over the months you've been able to get to good people. You are now strong on your position. But what my suggestion would be for you to present yourself more of a consultant than a regular person, right? Who's job hunting. Now you need to show them, like so far you've been showing them, when this gentleman is talking about 100K, that's six-figure income. And that is for top level earners globally. So that means they trust your level of skill, but they are not sure if you want to come and be part of the company full-time or you want to be a consultant part-time. So that is the area where you need to be talking about. So maybe one of the opportunities, even if you show up for a job, you say, okay, when they give you a chance to talk, you normally say, this is how I do my work, okay? This type of job, I commit to this amount of time in a week, and this is how I get paid. So that way you actually tell them in a nice way your terms, so they know that they're hiring you as a consultant. Even consultants get employment. It's still employment, only that we don't go in their roles and all that. So it's the same thing. We are hired, but not as workers, but as consultants. So there's nothing being hired. Even Sifu, our mentor, gets
I
hired.
asked, yeah.
Yes.
I asked the
But
question. So
yes, go ahead. Go
yeah,
ahead. How did you ask? Just give us an example of how you've
yeah,
been asking
I
the
asked the
questions.
question at, well, I don't want to give them that objection very at the beginning. I do it at the end, right? Like, because when I told them about my position, they will be like, oh, this is not what you're interested. No point talking more, right? And I want to find out more about them. So about the position first before I tell them my standpoint, right? Like, so he talk, right? He know what I can do, and then at the end, I said, let's say I can give you the same result, and I'm getting the same amount of pay, right? Would you consider hiring a contractor, right? And then he said, oh, we had just wanted to have one employee that stay in the company so they can communicate in the company better, right? Like, I don't know why their head is like contractor is an external person, right? Like it's like people from outside, right? Aliens, I don't know. But like if you are employees, then you are like, okay, able to talk to people within the company, right? So I guess it's an objection, maybe, right? That I have to overcome, but he is pretty firm, because in his mind, it's just only the company employees that can communicate within the people, like in the organization. So
my thinking, Ricky, I think it's probably you're not giving them the confidence that contractor is a name. What they're really looking for is the job being done by whoever it is. So if you handle it for them to realize that it really doesn't matter, because like even companies, Silicon Valley, they outsource some of the services to people in the Philippines, the people in Africa, people in India, right? So outsourcing is not a problem. So in your discussions with these HR people, these business owners, I would like you to ask them, okay, what are they looking for when they say they want an in-person? What's the difference between an in-person and an out-person? The alien, right? You are considering yourself as an alien. So what is in their mind? Again, it goes to the way you ask questions. I think you are good to a point, but on the missing link is you not being able to handle the objection. It doesn't matter whether you're in the company or you're outside the company. What's important is you are committed and able to do the job, right? So for them to get that clarity, the same question Anastasia brought, how will they know that it will work? My copywriting will work. So it's preempt that and say, maybe you can use accusation audit. Maybe you may be thinking that it's only internal people who would produce the kind of thing. Maybe you may fear, maybe you may think, right?
Actually, I don't have that kind of objection. So I don't have that kind of objection. Even I tell him, like, you hire me as like you give me 100,000, right? But sometimes I get, like, depends on who I'm working with. I can help you save $1 million, sometimes just saving people time. And I kind of blast it out, and then he trusts it. So
and that's true. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's true.
Yeah.
So the only thing is, I think you are not making it clear enough that it is okay for them to be comfortable working with you as an independent person. You do not have to be part of the politics of the company and all that, as we know, but you're here ready to come into the company to offer services for them. So if you have that frame of mind, that should work.
I'll actually, I'll make an assumption of the company, the cleaners, the people who clean the building, who clean the workplace, they're probably not the company staff, correct?
I believe, no, I don't think so.
Right. Yeah. So you can use that as an example.
So, like, will you hire an employee to clean your building? Yeah. To start the conversation.
You can ask them,
right?
like, I'm not sure if those cleaners, like, does it matter if they are on the payroll, or does it matter if they get the job done?
Makes sense. I can.
It's a small thing. It's a small thing missing for you, Ricky.
I can
almost
try
there.
it.
Almost there.
I can try it. I think I get to the point. I think 90% of the HR want to hire me,
which is good.
But it's funny because I don't want to take the job. I want to. Like, I
Just
don't want the job.
flip
Like,
it.
give me just contract, right? So
Now, people who are spending time with me and Gerald now don't want to do any work anymore. Now we're going to get blamed.
Can I maybe give my two cents as a corporate person when it comes to hiring?
Yeah, sure, please.
Yeah. First of all, I think Ricky, I'm not particularly sure about your situation, but I think maybe as from a corporate person point of view, maybe you are not speaking to the right persons. The reason is because if my boss asked me to look for someone to do some work as a full-time, let's say if I'm a HR, I will follow the instructions, and it takes a little bit of more effort for me to justify to my boss saying that why do I want to get this as a contractor instead of hiring you as a full-time person coming in to work as in a company. And it is easier to do it that way, just to follow the instructions. And secondly, from a more corporate perspective, people will have the tendency to believe that hire you as a full-time employee, I will have more control over you. So let's say if you do the job sucks, I can just come and school you, and yet it is not like an external party. Why do I hire someone in and he's not doing the job? I have to fire this guy, and I have to hire another contractors. So instead of doing all the works, since you are the full-time employee, I can just come and school you and expecting you to do a better job. Ultimately, it is more of a control. So it is a different than the cleaner example, because cleaning companies, they are, if they suck up the toilets, you can just get another person to do it without any justifications. You can just show the toilet is so dirty. But sometimes when it comes to a more more corporate role, it might be a little bit different when it comes to justifications. So that's what I think from a more corporate perspective.
okay. You just hear the objection here.
Okay. That's interesting. So, Ricky, how are you now that you've had that objection?
I get a little, I get a little clearer on the perspective. Just try again. I mean, just talk to more HR and then see what happens. I'll try J approach.
You can work on. I mean, what they are saying is we are not confident if we have total control over this. We are not confident if we are going to be guaranteed result, because they perceive full-time employee as they have more control and the result is more guaranteed. Now, if you can put in your proposal, like, hey, sorry, not in your proposal, in your offer, if I fully fix this problem, 100K. If any problem, I'll fix it for any downtime, depending on what you're solving for them. Anything which is, you have to draft a service level agreement for them. Yeah. And that will probably handle this.
Yeah, I would say at that moment, right, they are also hiring other people, right? I don't know if the people who want a job, right? So I'm competing with the people who want a job.
I don't think you are competing with people who want a job, because if they can just hire somebody to solve the problem, they would have hired already. They won't be talking with you.
No, I think
they're
they
hiring
need
someone, right? So yeah. So
no, it's not true necessarily. I've been in the hiring business. I know it's very difficult to get good people, right? So when they get to you, they need the kind of skills you have. And so I think one of the things, I think Vince has brought a very important objection. So handle this objection and say, as I speak, by the way, might this be any problem? So preempt the objection that they won't be able to get the control. So why do they need control anyway? They need, it's all fear-based, right? They want to be sure that the job is going to be done. So when you're discussing with them, give them the assurance, this is your plan, right? So that it kind of handles, so they, in their mind, when they close their eyes, they know this guy has given us the assurance. And when they're going to talk to the full-time decision maker, maybe the CEO or somebody within the corporate hierarchy, they can, okay, you help the HR win by giving her an ammunition that she's going to take to the boss. That I have spoken to Ricky. He has outlined how we shall really be sure that he's going to deliver through points A, B, C, D. He even says if he does this part, this is how we should pay him. If he does this is how we should pay. So that way, then the CEO will have no objection. You know, in the corporate world, fear rules the people. They don't want to look bad in front of the bosses. And so they may actually leave out a good potential employee where they feel they don't have total control over. Just like what Vince has mentioned. So that's a very powerful objection. So give them ammunition to look good in front of the bosses, and you'll have your day.
And I'll just quickly repurpose this question for all the freelancers, even though this might sound it doesn't apply to you. Now, why does this apply to you? Because the companies looking to solve a problem, they have two options. They can hire a freelance contractor or they can hire a full-time person. Now, using here, now you understand the person who is hired to solve the job, because sometimes you're not talking with the business owner, you're talking the HR person. So this conversation is actually very relevant. All right. And we have reached the, actually we exceeded 10 minutes. So I'd like to thank everybody for coming. Once again, we'll have more announcements upcoming. Happy Tiger Year, and hopefully this year it will be the best. Will be the best year for you. Okay, it already is turning out very good for me. Just for your information. Okay, see you guys next week.
Two Daves down, right? All right. So see you same time next week.
Thank you, Thank you, Jerry.
Bye. Thank you. Bye. Yeah.